World Bank Country Director for Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka, Faris Haddad Zervos, has commended Sri Lanka's efforts thus far with regards to finding solutions for the island's economic crisis. Speaking in Colombo, Faris highlighted that Sri Lanka requires deep governance reforms that would address certain core issues in order to prevent another crisis from occurring, and said the World Bank will start funding for a deposit insurance scheme in Sri Lanka going forward.
Yet this is not the end of the road, but it's a good journey so far. It's been very difficult. We see a good turn, and we have to go on, and we're still on the path to recovery. The next 2 years are going to be infinitely critical for Sri Lanka's recovery. There are more significant headwinds that need to be closely monitored. Some of them are internal and some of them are external, things that are facing the entire world. I think I will optimistically, but I believe realistically, say that now we're in an economic recovery phase. It will still be difficult. There's also the risk of slower, uneven implementation of the ambitious reform agenda that could delay the recovery process and impact the confidence in the Sri Lankan economy. Another risk is that which is outside, which is a volatile global economic environment. We see a global increase in commodity prices that makes it more difficult to buy essential goods, and a global economic contraction that could delay the recovery of tourism in Sri Lanka and reduce the demand for exports. The financial sector needs to be carefully monitored, given high exposures to the public sector, rising non-performing assets, and tight liquidity conditions. As the crisis continues, more people, especially the high-skilled, may leave the country. Of some of our critical Sri Lankan staff, in some cases, in some departments, we've lost 50%. They've gone to Australia, they've gone to Canada, to New Zealand and elsewhere to find stable opportunity. It's a big issue. The only thing I would request of you, my humble request, is keep doing what you're doing. Do what you do, because that's very important. But please speak the truth. This is not a time for politics. It's a time to do the right thing. Sometimes the right thing is not the perfect thing. Sometimes we have to do things. And now is the time for Sri Lankans to band together.
Only part of the budget support loan was disbursed. Can you tell us on how, or the contingent, what will be the contingencies on which it will be disbursed? Are there any other support plan for this year?
The budget support operation and the financial sector, yes, it's going to be part of the budget support was for 500 million and another 200 million for a social protection system that would support the reform of the current system. As Wasuma and beyond, we have been supporting that, and that will fund the first few months of that because it's important to have continuity. The budget support operation, naturally, and given what I talked about, is on 3 sectors. One is key reforms on economic governance. The other pillar under budget support is on competitiveness, and that's laws and regulations to return Sri Lanka on a path of competitiveness and foreign direct investment. We very much welcome the upcoming investment law. That's where some of our financial sector agreements on reforms the government is taking place. We are very happy to know that in the next few days there will be the Central Bank Act that's going to be presented. That's going to be very important to reassert the independence of the central bank. There's going to be a Banking Special Provisions Act that's going to be important, and a lot of them. The third pillar of our budget support is actually reforms for the transparency and governance of the social protection system. Moving forward, we will have a separate additional project financing for financial sector, and that is basically what we like to call financial safety net. That is to make sure, and we're very confident, and we've seen the numbers now, as a result of what's happening recently with the IMF program, with the progress with the debt restructuring, domestic debt restructuring, the financing of the bank, there's more confidence, and we see that in some of the indicators, certainly in the reference rates and the interest rates, etc. There's more confidence. But we want to make sure that whatever happens in the future, people are protected. So we will be providing financing to the deposit insurance scheme of Sri Lanka.